Okay, we are in working efficiently with Google Tools today in our virtual PD. I am Rosemary Jane. I'm on the Learning Technologies team with CPS IT department, and I'm joined by Ashley Badgett, who is moderating our chat today. If you have any questions, just type them right here in the chat. She also drops helpful links. She's usually a step ahead of me on those. So we're going to begin. I'm going to start with today's agenda. All right, on our agenda today is looking at your Chrome browser and a Did You Know feature. So we're going to look at making sure we're all syncing. And yes, we're actually going to take time to do that now. So I'm going to build some time into this because some of this PD session is interactive. We're going to look at quickly adding a tab so that you can work in the meeting along with me as I'm presenting. So we're going to add an extension. We are going to look at other settings. I call them the big little dots. Those three little dots hold a lot of power. It's where we access a lot of information. We're going to explore the three-dot menu. We're also going to then go back into Google Extensions. So we'll kind of be opening with one extension, but then we'll go back and dive a little deeper into Google Extensions, what they are and how you can make your remote work easier. So the name of this session is Working More Efficiently. I'm trying to help you save time using our tools so that you can work efficiently at home. So we'll look at some of the extensions that the district pushes out to you, as well as some that I have added from over the years in my training. So we'll look at those. Then we are going to, I do have the remote work to make it easier, and then I also have to make it a little bit more fun. And I'll be clear on, yes, the API is still required. We'll talk about that more when we get to that section. We're also going to look at your apps menu. Now, in my session on Tuesday evening, we barely got to dip into our apps menu, but we're just going to glance at least at what you already have, but might not have noticed in the apps menu, and just how the apps menu is laid out. So that's our agenda. I'm going to put a copy of this in the chat now. So you have a copy of the agenda. And it will be posted on my YouTube channel when I post this video. All right, let's begin. I'm going to pop the agenda back here. And we are first starting with Chrome browser. Did you know? First of all, I just want to point out that you should be using the Chrome browser. You can see I got a lot of Chrome icons here because I have a lot of shortcuts. But you should be using Google Chrome to do your work. It's what we recommend. Some of our tools just simply do not work well with Microsoft Edge, or if you're on an older computer, Internet Explorer. So I don't recommend this tool. I sometimes use it just to log in to test some things, but I don't often use this for work. We're using Google Chrome. Also, a lot of people say they like Firefox. I like it too. I use it for all my personal needs. I log into my personal Gmail account and other personal work on Firefox. It's a great browser. But today we're looking at the Chrome browser. All right. And I opened it in the wrong window. Okay, so we're looking in Google Chrome, and one of the first things I want to talk about is being signed on and syncing to Chrome. So if you look at the top of your browser, here's the three-dot menu, and I do just want to pause there. For some people, it's a yellow icon, a red exclamation point. That's letting you know that action needs to be taken, but it's right here under the red X is that three-dot menu. Immediately to the left of that is the profile for Google. Now, if you see a head and shoulders silhouette, that's a big sign that you need to sign in and sync. That means no one is signed in. However, when you click on it, even if you do see your initial or profile image, you want to double check that you are signed in and syncing to your CPS BOE account. Why does that matter? Well, we've got some extensions that we've already pushed out to you that you can't access if you're not signed in and syncing to your CPS account. There's also some things that we use in the district tools that authenticate with Google. And if you're signed in and your sync is on, then those tools work more efficiently. You don't have to log in. You just have to, at most, sometimes select your own profile. You'll click on your username, and then you're into the application. I'm going to demonstrate how some of those work. But for this one, you actually are going to stop right now. And of course, this is optional. You don't have to. But I want you to sync right now. There is a small chance that if you join this meeting from another account and you turn off that account and sync with this one, you'll get dropped out of the meeting. I'm going to actually pause for 2 minutes so that everybody, if you do sign in and turn on your sync, you have a moment to rejoin the meeting if that happens. Now, when you first turn on sync, 2 prompts are going to come up. One will ask if you want, first thing you're going to do is actually sign in with your CPS BOE long email address and then your Google password. Once you sign in, it will ask you if you want to link your data. Right now, yes, click link data. We'll get into the examples of why you want to link your data soon. But select link data, and then it prompts you with something like, all right, I'm in, or okay, I'm in, and you click that. Then you will see that silhouette change, and it will say sync is on, like my screen does right now. So I'm going to give it 2 minutes. It's 12:10. At 12:12, I will pop back in. And if anybody's stuck right now, I can get some questions. A house next to the top picture. Yep, if it says sync is on, Christy, and you see that sync is on to your BOE account, you are in good shape, and you just get a 2-minute mental break. All right, so please do make sure you turn on sync if you haven't already, because the interactive things that we're going to do won't work if you're not syncing. It's a green arrow, not 3 dots. That's fine. Yes, it does sometimes appear differently. So what do some of those things mean? I'm going to pull up Google's answer. All right, when it's changing the green circle with an arrow, it means you must take action in your Chrome web browser, such as deny or allow the installation of the Chrome extension or restart your Chrome browser. So this is, whenever I look up something from Google, I don't know if you noticed when I typed in my question, but I always begin with the words Google support, and then I put in what my question is, because I want my answer to come from Google support. So there are some answers here that show what that means. This icon is probably what you saw. And so there is explanations in here from Google support. Dropping that in the chat now. The one I've ran into the most with users as I'm working with them is that they need to update their Chrome browser, and you just update it and then you relaunch Chrome and everything's working smoothly. So, all right, it is 12:12. I'm going to move forward from signing on and syncing, and I am going to add a link to the chat that I'd like you all to add if you haven't already. So we're adding tab resize. I'm skipping a lot of the how-to. If you're signed on and syncing and you want to work along with me today, here is the tab resize link. If you already have it, again, just be patient while we wait to get everybody who doesn't have it yet caught up. All right, what you would do is click on this link for tab resize. It's going to open this extension. If you don't have it yet, it will say add to Chrome. You can click on add to Chrome, allow it to be added, and you will have this extension. Now, don't worry about all the how-tos. When we go into extensions, we'll talk about extensions more. But the reason we're adding this one is because every time I've done a session with somebody and we're working on Google or Schoology, and I'm showing you how to do something and we're doing it in real time so that you can add it. The name of the session is Working Efficiently, and it would be a little hypocritical of me if I didn't give you the chance to do these things as we work, so that when you leave the session, you're good to go. You don't have to go back and learn it again or do it on your own. So that's the point. So if you already have tab resize, ignore it. But if you don't have it yet, when you add it, this icon will appear in your extensions. Now, bear in mind that if you have a lot of extensions already, they sometimes overflow, and you'll have to check the 3-dot menu for an overflow. Also, you can control the size of your URL window. So if you've got it very long like this, then those extra extensions just drop down into this top tray of the 3-dot menu. I like to keep my browser window short so that all of my extensions show. That's my preference. But you will use tab resize. Now, the reason we add this first in this session is so that while I'm doing things, you can work along with me. And sometimes it's hard for you as the participant to watch what I'm doing in a meeting and then open a new tab and keep working. Tab Resize takes care of that problem for us. We simply click on it. I believe the first time you click on it, you have to give it permissions. Go ahead and go through that. But then I like this 1x2 side-by-side grid. What it actually does is open the meeting in a second window. It just splits into 2 windows. So the tabs, they're being resized into separate windows. But now I can follow along in the meeting presentation here. And on your side, you should, you probably don't want a grid view on if you're on a participant right now. You don't want a grid view on because you want to see the full participation. Excuse me, you want to see the full presentation. But then over here, you can follow along with some of the things that I'm showing to do. So this will help you keep working along with me. Now, I'm not going to leave it like that because I want your view, your presentation, to be a larger window. But if you use Tab Resize, all the things I'm doing while I'm working here, I can show you, and you could be working in the second tab. That's the first extension we add so that you can do some of these efficiency tips along with me. All right, it's a quick ad, and we'll get into other extensions later. Now we are going to look at the settings menu in Google. So if you're using Tab Resize, you want to use it now like this. And we are going to go into the 3-dot menu down into settings. I am going to expand my view again. So we're going to go into the 3-dot menu. And we're going to go down to settings. It's the 4th one from the bottom. Bottom says managed by CPS, exit, help, settings. Click on settings, please. All right, here is where you can see all of the things about your account. So one of the first efficiency tips that I have is related to you shutting down your system every day. I recommend that you fully shut down your computer at the end of every workday. And really, if you're on a lot, especially streaming, it's good to even reboot in the middle of the day. Well, I work with a lot of teachers who say, I have way too much work open. I have too many tabs. I can't afford to lose them. I don't want to bookmark them all. It's too much. Well, there's one setting that you can do that I always like to jump to second, and it's down here. So we sign in and sync, and then scroll all the way to the bottom. Don't click on advanced. It's right here, the on startup. I have selected continue where you left off. Now, if you select continue where you left off, if you close out, shut down your computer, tomorrow when you restart, or later this afternoon when you restart, all the tabs that you had open are where they were when you left off. So continue where you left off literally lets you continue your work where you left off, but you get to take good care of your device by powering it down so that it can charge better, so that the memory is clear. There's stuff with RAM. I'm not actually all that technical, so I don't know all of the whys, but I do know you need to shut down your system every day. So continue where you left off will give you that opportunity to literally continue where you left off. The other thing I like about it is I work in multiple windows. I have a second monitor hooked up, and I have, I can even show you down here, I have 2 windows of Chrome open. This one has got all of the things like my email and things I need to work on, my chat messages. This is the one I'm presenting in. If I were to shut this down right now, when I start it back up, both those windows open with both the respective tabs. It's just probably my #1 efficiency tip. Continue where you left off. All right, we explored that in the settings menu. I want to look at a couple other things in the settings menu that you may not be aware of are in here. And the other one is passwords. So a lot of you have said that you are so sick of the password problem in the district. And I couldn't agree with you more. There's so many things that we have to log into and remember our password for. We have to have a password for our employee online to get our pay stub. There's one for TriHealth for our wellness dollars. Not to mention all of the curriculum applications, and some log on with Google and some have a specific login. Google Chrome can manage all your passwords. So going back to signing in and syncing, when you asked it when you gave it permission to link your data, what you linked to was browser history, bookmarks, and saved passwords. So Google solves the password problem. I do know that a lot of you sometimes have that knee-jerk response that when you log into a website and it pops up and says, would you like Chrome to save your password? You say no right away. Several years back, that was the right response and it would have been what I told you. But now that we sign in and sync to our browser, you're not saving it to your computer, you're saving it to your Chrome account. So you can save your password. Yeah?
Rosemary, can you slow down just a little bit? And can you go through go to where you exactly, how to get to settings? Some people got lost on how you got there.
Let me show, I'll show in like a quick 1 through 3 what I actually just did. What I've been doing quickly is explanations. So what you haven't missed anything if you just open a new tab and go to the 3-dot menu, we went to settings. So pausing on that, we went to settings. 3-dot menu. If yours has another icon like a green icon or an exclamation mark, it still gives you the same access. Go to settings. That's the one. The 2 that we did was scroll all the way to the bottom. Please do mute yourself. Please mute yourself. I scrolled all the way to the bottom to on startup, and all we actually did was click continue where you left off. I did give a lot of explanation for why I do this. So that part, I know I was talking really fast, but that was the second thing I showed. The last thing I was just on was back at the top. So I'm in settings. I just scrolled back up. And I stopped here and I was talking to you about passwords. We hadn't actually done anything yet. So I was more giving you some rationale. All right. So we are here in settings. Again, that was here, settings. And we scrolled down to passwords. I was in the middle of telling you guys how you can save your passwords if you're signed in and syncing. But if you've not given permission in the past or you don't remember what your password is, some people aren't aware that they are stored here in your Chrome settings. You do have to be signed in and syncing, but then when you go to settings, you can click on passwords. Now in passwords, you might have actually declined this in the beginning. Make sure you have offer to save passwords turned on. Mine is turned on. So if you have that turned off, I recommend you turn it on. This is an efficiency tip. Auto sign in, automatically sign into websites using stored credentials. If disabled, you'll be asked for confirmation every time before signing in. So I just read this. I actually do keep that off because sometimes I've opened a site and I'm either in a public setting or a group or I'm projecting and I don't want to necessarily sign in right away. So I keep it off. But just so you're aware, you can turn that on. And then that way, when you launch applications that you have elected to save your password, it just takes you straight in. So this is a great efficiency tool if you don't often share your screen with others and you're not worried about automatically signing in. I keep mine off, but probably if I was in the classroom and I didn't do these more public presentations, I would keep that turned on. All right, the other thing that I want you to know is if you scroll down, all of your saved passwords are archived here. So if you have forgotten one, I'm not going to click on it because we're actually in my account, but if you're working in that second tab with me, you can look and click on that eyeball. It shows you what the password is. I work with teachers all the time who say, oh, it's close to my Google password, but I changed it by a character. Can't remember what it was. Can't remember what it was. You can go down here and look it up and you can just view it. You can also, if you click on the 3 dots next to that, look at the details of that site and you can remove it as well. So maybe you don't want that one saved anymore. So this is sort of your password manager, right? And I'm going to show again how I got there. When I get into my rationale and why I do things, I talk so fast. I'm sorry. It's because I have a lot of thoughts to share with you. But I will make sure I really slow down when we do the how-tos. All right. In the 3-dot menu, settings, just scroll down a little bit and passwords are right here. This is where you can also search for your passwords. So there's a search built in. I love Google. All right, so I keep this on. And if I wasn't doing a lot of public presentations, I'd probably keep this one on too. So most classroom teachers, I'd keep that on. Then you can manage and view your passwords down All right, so we looked at continue where you left off. Password, I call it password vault. It's not actually called that. So if you're on the agenda and you're wondering why the word vault is there, I just kind of look at it as like a vault. And you are the only one who has the key because the key to that vault is your Google password. So you shouldn't share it with anybody. All right. So other settings, that's my next topic right here. I'm at this point in the agenda if you're following along. Those big 3 little dots, and let's explore. Before I go into that, I do want to pause. Ashley, were there clarifying questions other than the request to slow down? I'm sorry, I went so fast off everybody.
Rosemary, can I?
If you would please, the meeting flows so much better if you can drop it in the chat. And then at the end, we'll have an open Q&A where you can unmute. Ashley, is there anything I need to hit?
No, not right now. Unless, Nicholas, if you want to put your question in the chat, we can get to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. I'll just move on to the next part of my agenda, but please do add that question. All right, I'm in a new tab now, and I said the next topic is those big little 3 dots. Now, what I mean by that is sort of that irony. They're tiny. They're so often overlooked, but there's so much power in that 3-dot menu. The first thing we did was go into settings because there's some things we had to do to work more efficiently. But there are so many things in this 3-dot menu that you might not have noticed before. For example, you can open a new tab right from here. You don't have to hit the plus sign. Well, that's not really that big a deal, right? Because you can also just click the plus sign and that's one less click. But did you know? Google gives you a cheat sheet. If you don't like having to move your mouse around and click, you can use keystrokes. Control plus T, or I think on a Mac it's Command T, but I'm pretty sure the Mac Chrome browser gives you the right instructions. I haven't been on my Mac in a little while. But it gives you the key shortcuts right there in the menu. So whether you want a new tab or a new window, or even a new incognito window, that one I'm going to come back to in a minute. You've got these control key shortcuts built right in for you. The other thing that I want to show you in the 3-dot menu is this history tab. Now, what I love about the history tab is it doesn't just show me what I've recently closed right now in this session. It also shows me on another device what I recently closed, and even on my mobile phone. So I use Chrome on my mobile phone all the time, and it'll show me what I recently closed in my mobile phone. So remember when I said you want to link your data? I said it connects you to I don't remember the order I set it in, but it connects you to your passwords, your browser history, this one, and your bookmarks. We're going to get into bookmarks next. So I can access my browser history across devices. Downloads, pretty straightforward, but if you want to open your Google Downloads, it's Control plus J. And so if I've downloaded something, let's say that I open an email from my principal, and attached to that was his or her principal's newsletter, and I don't remember what I did with it. Well, if I open it on webmail in Chrome, it will live in my downloads history right here. You can also clear out that history, but you could just check there real quick. Bookmarks. Okay, bookmarks, I'm going to admit, my bookmarks are out of control. I did this training on Tuesday evening with Kimberly McLean, and I just want to learn more from her because she's a super organized mind when it comes to bookmarks. So what I'm going to show you is okay, but if you are an organized sort of person and you like to organize your Google files or your course content, you can get very particular with your bookmarks. Now, your bookmarks, you have a lot of settings in this little 3-dot menu. There's a lot of options. The first one I want to look at is the Bookmarks tab. You can bookmark this tab or all tabs, that's an option, but you can select to show or not show your Bookmarks bar. So if some of you say, well, I don't have bookmarks, like, let me go back to that real quick. Okay, it should have went away. Bookmarks. Okay, it's going away on my other window on the other screen. There we go. Let me see if it refreshes now. I have another screen connected. One moment. Okay, it's showing. And bookmarks. This is really weird, folks. I'm going to pull one of these windows over to show you what it's doing on my other window. Huh. Interesting. You know, no technology is perfect. All right, let me just pull this tab over here to show you what it did. And I'll drop it here. All right, you can see the bookmarks are gone here. No idea why they're not gone on my other one. But then I can just click bookmarks, show bookmarks bar, and you see how they just appeared? They dropped in. So again, if I don't want to see those icons, I can just click on, I can deselect it, but I like to have my bookmarks bar there, so I like to have it showing. All right, get this out of our view. Okay, so something else I like to do with my bookmarks. I can use a bookmark manager. And so if you open this up, and this was just in the 3-dot menu, so for those of you who are trying to follow along, 3 dots. Sorry. Oh no. It's always around my lunch sessions this happens, guys. Chrome is not responding. Ay, ay, ay. I want to click wait for the program. I'm going to close out my other tabs and see if that helps. I am back, and this is just how things happen sometimes. So I'm back. Looks like everything is fine. I like that because I had continue where I left off, my whole Chrome browser shut down, but all I did was launch Chrome again, and I was immediately back into this meeting. You've got to have that setting. That first one I showed you, continue where you left off, make sure you have that setting. All right, I was on the Bookmarks Manager. So in here, you can manage your bookmarks and organize them. I'm not going to go too in depth with this. Honestly, 2 reasons why I'm not that organized. Those of you who know me, I'm really not. But I just wanted to show you that is there, and then show you how you can add a new bookmark and organize them. Now, remember when I said if you're signed in and syncing, you link your data, it pulls in browser history, bookmarks? Well, here's what I also love about this. If I'm signed in and syncing on any device and I bookmark something, it shows up on any device. So back in the day when I was in the classroom and before I knew about this, I would be at home in the evening or on the weekend doing my lesson planning, and I would be trying to, I just realized my camera's not showing. All right, let me represent because I rejoined. All right, I would be at home and I would be trying to lesson plan, and all of a sudden I would go, what is that website I was on today at school? I know it was related to my science lesson. I did a Google search. It was perfect. I bookmarked it at work. I'm going to have to look tomorrow. Well, that problem is no more. If you sign in and sync from home, you can access your bookmarks that you have saved from any device. And so I like to organize them as well. So I'm going to go to one that I've never used before. Here we go. This is just a site I don't have bookmarked. Now, if you're on a site and you just select this star, that's the quick and easy way in Chrome to bookmark something. There is the 3-dot menu. You can also go here and here. I don't know why you do all that, but don't forget you can also do the keystroke. So if you're more about the keyboard than the mouse, Control D or Control Shift D will bookmark every one you have open. All right, let's say I want to bookmark this. I can just put a star, and what it does, it drops it into the last folder that I saved something in. But did you know that you can manage from here which folder that goes into? So I'll put this under other bookmarks. Let's see, choose another folder. I have all these folders. So I'll put this under training links. Select my folder. Now this is saved in my training links folder. From this, I can come up with a new category if I want. Just click more. I can create a new folder. You'll notice that folder automatically drops as it's thinking to itself. The feedback is really bad. If you could please mute your microphone. Hello? Okay, good. Oh no, I still have interference. Okay. Please mute yourself when you come into these meetings. Thank you. All right, I was back in here and I went into more. If you add a folder here, it drops it into underneath wherever you are. So I might want it to be a subfolder for my staff links. Well, then I can click on that folder, click new folder, and now you see I've got a subfolder in here. So you can quickly manage your bookmarks folders right from the star from editing the bookmark. So right there, I can manage and work on it. But if you're really organization minded, go into the Bookmark Manager. You can have a lot of fun in there. And guess what you're going to do if you want help with this? You're going to Google support, Google Bookmark Manager. If you look up Google's support documents, they have got interactive guides, tells you how to do things, shows you how to do some things. So there we go. It's all there. Google has all their stuff already published. Here's the Bookmark Manager for those of you who want to play around with getting organized in your bookmarks. Okay, back onto the agenda. Let's open fresh. Lapse that. Okay. Those big three little dots, let's explore. We're still exploring our three dots. We were at bookmarks. Now you can control your zoom from here. You can also do it from in the browser. Well, you can usually. It's not showing. You can usually do it right in here as well. But so you can control your zoom. You can also control and scroll your mouse pad to zoom. But just so you're aware, your zoom is there. Print directly from here. There's a cast option I've never used. But then there are even more tools. So save page ads, clear browsing data. Those of you who are getting long times to load or errors, try that out. And then there's extensions, task manager, and so forth. We don't have time to go through everything, but I just wanted to show you the power in those three little dots. There's a lot going on in there. All right, I'm getting ready to move on to my next topic, Google extensions. I'm a little behind schedule on this one, so I'll go through extensions quicker. But I want to pause. Ashley, are there questions from the chat I need to address? All right, I'll take that as a no for now, or maybe sometimes Ashley is back there working behind the scenes and answering you guys live. So unless I'm interrupted, I'm going to continue on the agenda. All right, our next topic is Google extensions, adding extensions to make your remote work easier. And then I'm going to look at adding extensions that make life a little more fun. And as you can see, this was in my agenda also on Tuesday. Yes, ATI is still required. I'll go over what ATI is as well. All right. What we're going to all do now, if you're working along with me and you want to do a split tab, you are going to go in your second window to the Chrome Web Store. So if you're working along with me, you're going to just type in Chrome Web Store, select it. I'm going to not work in two tabs so you can see my presentation. All right, we are in the Chrome Web Store, and this is where you add extensions. Now, first, I want to point out the two that are pushed out by the district. Read and Write is pushed out by the district, and so is Clever. So if you're signed in and syncing to your BOE account, you should have Read and Write, which is a text help tool. It is literally a tool that students and teachers can use to read off the screen, to voice input writing. It's an awesome, awesome tool. And if you are a classroom teacher and you want to learn how you can use this as both an assistive and enhancing tool with your students already have this pushed out. So your students should be signed in and syncing to Chrome as well. The other one is Clever. I'm going to click on Clever. And because I'm signed in and syncing, and if any of you follow my Tech Talk tidbits that I released this week, this was the first one I did. Sign in and sync to Chrome, click on the Chrome icon, and boom, you are in your account. I'm actually in from a teacher I worked with last night. But basically, all you do is launch Chrome here, or Clever here. Now, what's so great about Clever? Well, It's where we have all our district applications. And the great thing is it takes you to the correct login page. So you're not wondering if you went to the wrong spot. And for certain applications, it will auto log you in. For certain applications, it might auto roster your students. Or if it signs in with Google, because you're signing and syncing, it'll take you straight in. And then there's also another section that's called saved password applications. And so there's a little manager inside of Clever. If you guys save all your passwords to Chrome, you don't even need that feature in Clever, but it's just nice to know it's in there. And it does work across browsers. So you can use Clever by just going to clever.com/in/CPSK12. So that's clever.com/in-CPS-K12 if you do have to work from another browser. All right, I'm back in the Chrome Web Store now. So if you're following along with me, we're going to add 2 tools that I use every day to work more efficiently. Now, I showed you tab resize. We started with that. We're going to look at this next one, undo close tabs. It's actually called simple undo close by the title. But instead of me copying and pasting that link for you now, what I'd like you to do is type into the search in the upper left, simple undo close. If you type in simple undo close, you're going to see this one come up. It needs to be this green one, simple undo close. Mine says rate it. Yours will probably say add to Chrome if you haven't added it yet. But simple undo close is an even shorter way than dealing with your browser history over here. So your 3 dots, I showed you how to get to that. But simple undo close simply lets you click it and you get a list of all the apps or all the tabs that you recently closed. So I don't know about you, but I am way too quick a clicker. I'm also way too quick a talker. That's a different subject. But I'm way too quick a clicker, and very often I accidentally close something when I only meant to click on it and go to it. Well, if I click on simple undo close, that agenda that I accidentally just closed opens right back up. I really like that tool for efficiency. All right, let's say that I have several things that I am working on. And for this one, I will just click on a whole bunch of stuff. I've got this one. What I'm doing is I'm opening up a whole bunch of links because I'm imagining myself as that busy teacher, and I did a virtual training and I did some lesson planning and I had my Schoology course open. And I meant to open those all as separate tabs. Whoops. Duplicate, duplicate, back. All right, you get the idea. Sometimes I know that you're working on so many tabs at once that they're so tiny that you can't even read the title of the tab. You can just silently raise your hand if you know you're guilty of that. I am all the time. I have way too many tabs open. So there's an extension that I like called One Tab. What I can do, no matter how many I have open, I can click on Hey, everybody. When did I get kicked out? What was the last thing I was talking about for you? I went to another tab and I realized all of a sudden my meet wasn't there. Oh, good. It was recent. Yay. Sorry about that. Here's your one tab. I'm going to save you some time because we're way behind now. I'm going to go into the chat and I'm going to drop the one tab right there. All right, there is one tab in the chat for you. Probably I lost you on the point when I was talking about how this will work for you with students. Let's say that you are working on something, collaborating with a teammate. You could shoot them a one tab and share all of the tabs that you are working on. I really like the use for students. I'd love to share more about that, but I don't know if the one tab is actually what messed me up. I showed it last Tuesday and it wasn't an issue, but I'm hesitant to click it again while I'm presenting now. All right. Let me take the meat out of that. Ooh, a hack. Here we go. Let me present. All right. Minimize this meeting. Here I am. I'm on my one tab and I'm going to use that link. Click. They all collapse. I don't know if you heard me say this, but you not only get these one tabs here, but you get a history of all the one tabs you saved. All right. Now, what I really like about this is this share as a web page. So I could share the links that I was working on. Let's say I've gathered a collection for my students, or I'm working on a project with a teammate, and I could send them this one tab link, and it's got all of the resources that I was using. The other one is a QR code, and I'm pretty sure that it shut down. I don't know if you saw that. But on my iPhone, if I just open my camera, it prompts me, do I want to open one tab? I say yes, and look at this. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's right there. So think about your students remote learning right now, maybe sending them a QR code of a one tab of a collection of resources that you want them to use. That could help. Now, what I can do, this is the web page version, so I can close that. I can also restore them all, so I open them all back up. All right, you can also name this tab group. So I can name it links from my research project. I love this for students because if they had a presentation and they wanted to refer to their resources, we want to teach them bibliography and proper citing, but we can also give them a digital tip of using a one tab, and then anybody who views their presentation could have an interactive link to all of their sites. All right, I love one tab. You reopen the meeting and get back into our agenda. I do wish that Google would let me pick how it displays when it opens slides. If I can do that, I don't know how yet. All right, so we looked at some extensions to be easier, to make your work more efficient. So we added tab resize, we added one tab. You can add save to Google Drive. I like that one a lot. I'm not going to go into it too much, but that would help with your efficiency. I really love, I've got the category add extensions that make life more fun. Move it. I will say every tab or every extension I showed you, I actually learned from the Joelle McConnell, who taught me most of what I share with Google extensions to all of you. So she has a presentation called Google Extensions Galore that links you directly to all of these. I can drop that in the chat after the call. So if you want to hang out and get her resource, you can. If you got to hop right off at one, I completely understand. But it will be posted in my YouTube video. All right, so I like Move It. I got Move It from Joelle, and this is an awesome extension because if you've seen any of my presentations, I refuse to take it off even when I'm presenting. I think it's a good visual and mental cue that my body should have been moving by now. So during a 1 hour session, I have it set to make me move every 15 minutes. You can customize that, but you can have it set to prompt you to move. I could disable it. I always say I don't do that because I like people to see that extension. While we're working at home, you can lose hours and hours and hours in front of the screen, and that will prompt you to do some healthy movement activities. So if it pops up before the end of the call, we'll stop and do that activity. That's a fun one. Another one that I shared on Tuesday that I did say, yes, fair warning, the ATI is still required. I'm going to open our ITM website. And actually, we just had a new a release of, it's reorganized. So bear with me 1 minute. We open the last Tech Topics newsletter. That one's older. Okay, I'll put a link to this in the chat as well. But we have reorganized our approved software list. I thought it was in here. So, whoops, maybe it's not. Well, it's coming, folks. Be on the lookout for an email about it. So for now, I'm just going to go to the ITM site. No, sorry. All right. We have an approved software list, and that does include extensions and like iPad apps. So just be aware that if you are using any technology that uses student data, the student logs in or out or collects any information about the student, or you are on our building our district Wi-Fi network, those applications have to be approved. It keeps everybody safe. There are FERPA guidelines, federal guidelines for how we allow our students to work on the internet. And so we have this approval process in place for student safety. So again, if the application uses student data or is on our district network, it has to be approved before you use it. We are working from home right now, and if you use an application that you're not using with students and you're not going to be on our network, you're an adult, you're free to choose what you want to use. Just bear in mind, you put yourself at greater risk if you're using something you haven't approved. But just keep that in mind. Now, what I did share is that there are apps in the Chrome Web Store. And one that I like to add is my Bitmojis. I did share that I would probably advise you to go ahead and add that to your personal account rather than your work one, but it can just add some fun. So the Chrome Web Store has some fun things in there or good for your health, like Move It, adding Bitmojis, doing fun things like that. Yes, you do still have to follow the CPS approved hardware and software. And that, again, was in the ITM website, approved software. If it's not on there and you want to be able to use it with students, you do have to do this application for technology initiative. That's what I was referring to, the ATI process, and to be able to use it with students or on our network. So that's what I had about the fun extensions you can find in the Chrome Web Store. Do just remember, yes, the ATI is still required. The last one that I'm going to hit, and we have less than 5 minutes, so I'm barely going to show it, is your waffle menu. Now, no, I don't mean waffle like we're going to eat one, though I am kind of hungry. But in Google, when you open a fresh Google page, next to your profile image is the waffle. And I'm willing to hang out and show the profile image as well, adding that so you don't just have an initial. Right here, we call it the waffle because it kind of looks like a burnt waffle, but it's actually called the Google Apps menu. You click on that. A lot of the places that you're typing in or going to manually, they already exist here in the waffle, like your Google Meeting. You can launch it right from there. Or Google Chat. Google Chat is the best way to reach our team, the Learning Technologies team. And please follow our office hour schedule because we're all booked up with appointments and trainings besides that. So follow our schedule. Your Google Calendar is right here. Sheets, docs, slides, a link to Classroom is in here. Now, it may appear in a different order in your waffle menu, in your apps menu. It's just by user. You're probably not going to have an admin one. I have some admin rights behind the scenes, but YouTube is there. Folks, I wish I could get everybody during this time to give it a try, trying out your YouTube channel. Because teachers, when you want to read a story to your students or show how to solve a complex math equation, you can just go live in YouTube, and you can publish it unlisted, so it's not on your public channel. Main road. I always get traffic noise. Or you can publish it on your public channel and share that out with your students. some of the things I have in mind are these playlists, like my Tech Talk tidbits and our virtual PD sessions. Today's session will be in here. So if you want to follow my channel, I bet Ashley's already dropped it in there. I'm not even going to go back. She probably already has. This is going to be where you find your recorded PDs. But I got to all of this through that waffle grid. I can just quickly go there. Google Keep is an awesome tool. I saw so many people in the Jamboard session yesterday. It's right there in your waffle. There's so many awesome things within this menu that I wish I had time to share with you. And have I used all of them? Nope, but I use a lot of them. It's a great little area to access your Google Apps. So with that, I did not spend as much time as I wanted to in our Google Apps in that waffle, but I have completed the agenda. So I know it's only 3 minutes left. If you got to hop, I'm going to keep recording through questions, and this will be posted on my YouTube channel by the end of business day today. But Ashley, are there questions I need to answer? And then if not, I'll open it up, the microphone.
Yes, Rosemary. Rosemary?
Yep, just give
Yes.
one pause for, just give me one pause because if people have had a question or two, I want to make sure I hit it. Ashley, we good? Because I don't follow along on the chat while I'm presenting. All right, yeah, go ahead. Whoever's unmuted, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why are the 3 dots hidden? Why are they hiding? I don't see, because I couldn't access it earlier. So why are they being hidden?
One of the things I dropped in the chat was sometimes the 3 dots are behind an icon. So let me go to Google support, 3-dot menu icon. Sometimes there's an icon over it.
Right,
Some
exactly.
people say it's missing. Yeah, I'm going to drop this in the chat for you. And let me go over a few of the quick responses of what it could be. It could be that you need to take action on something, that there's permissions waiting back there. And so it's saying like, go, click on me, click on this now, and it'll read to you what that prompt is. Other times there might be like a red one that with an exclamation point or something like that. And then when you click on it, it says update Chrome. And you do want to do that. I worked with a teacher last night who all the problems he was having, they were solved when we updated his Chrome. So the 3-dot menu, the 3 dots are sometimes hidden by an action that you have to take in Chrome. So if you don't see 3 dots, then you do need to find out why.
And just real quick, when I hover over it, my name comes up. So there's no, you need to update, you need to do this, or you need to do that. It's just my name comes up in a little rectangular box.
It sounds to me like we're not looking at the same thing. It sounds to me like you're clicking on your profile, because that is true. That's what comes up for me, or even here. But the 3 dots is right next to that. Now you may want to just even check your windows, make sure that you're in an expanded window and that the full thing is showing. I have worked with people before. This is just a little sort of thing that I've seen. I'm going to demonstrate it, where they've actually resized and it's sitting like this in the window. And so all you actually have to do is click this and click it again to make sure that you are fully using up that window, but it will appear over here. I do believe on my Mac, it appears on the far left instead of the far right. But that 3-dot menu does exist, so just have to hunt for yours. If you get super stuck, the ITM help, if you email them and say, I'm having trouble with settings on my devices, can you have a technician contact me? Our My Tomorrow techs and our JW Kennedy techs are available to help troubleshoot individual device issues.
Okay, what about the evaluation survey?
Yep, it's in here now. Ashley just dropped it, earn contact hours and feedback form. I do always like to walk through that with people at the end, but if you got to hop off, I want to make sure I don't have any more questions. I know Ashley, I think she has to hop off too.
Hear me?
All right.
Rosemary, real quick.
Yeah.
The chat, I mean, the sync on, you recommend doing that, or what is that about?
Always. I take it you joined a little later because that's what I opened with. Yes, when you are working remotely, when you are working, period. I do this at work or at home. I have my sync turned on because if my sync is not turned on, I do not have access to extensions. Oh, there's our Move It. So you're aware, you should be hopping around, or I just love that extension.
Oh,
Right.
and quickly too,
But those extensions don't work if you're not signed in and syncing.
okay, another thing, are you going to present this again or just go to your YouTube channel?
I'm probably, it's iffy whether I'm going to do this topic again or not live. Because I do record things, I've started to get to the point where once I've shared it twice, unless there's a big update that I need to share, I'm not rescheduling it. Like my Connecting Parents, that session was recorded actually 3 times and it's on my channel. And I don't have new information for you with parents, so I don't have it scheduled right now. But it depends on demand. So let me go through the form.
Okay.
If you are filling out the form and you want contact hours, make sure you fill in your first, last name and employee ID number. If you don't need the contact hours or you just want to submit some anonymous feedback, you can skip that part. Your topics, what did we cover? We covered Google. Period, point blank. I mean, if you want to look at Chat and Meet, I showed you where they are, but it was a Google session. All right. You indicate your school. And then today is the 24th. This session was at noon. And the type of training this was, I always like to show this one because right now, if you're here with me live, you joined a virtual PD session video conference. But if you're watching this later recorded on my YouTube channel, the last option is viewed a recorded virtual PD session. I do link to this feedback form and the chat transcript in the details below my videos. So for example, actually, sorry, that's not a good example because that was a parent one, not the same thing. Let me open one and show you what I mean. Okay, so if you just go down below the video and click on show more, I have the agenda copied. I have a link to the virtual agenda and I have the chat transcript. Inside of that, I have a link to the contact hours form. So you can complete this via video. All right, after you indicate that, this was a 30-minute to an hour training. And the trainers here, we have Ashley Badgett and myself, Rosemary Jane. Please rate us in this section. And if you want to add comments, if you want more of these sessions, put it in there. Or if you thought it was really helpful, put it in there. If you've got any directive feedback or corrective feedback for me, put it in there. But we really value your individual comments. And if you just thought it was great or appreciate it, it never hurts to see that as well. So we really value your comments and feedback. All right. See, a few more things have popped in. Yep, the link is in the chat right here. Earn contact hours and feedback form. Ashley, I don't want to hold you late if you've got to go. Let's see. Yep, I just did walk through the whole form. You're welcome, Julie. My pleasure. All right, folks. I can stay on about until 1:10 if you need it for questions. This is a time where you can unmute your mic and throw in your questions. If not, please go to the bottom of your screen and click the leave call button at the bottom. I always stay in and make sure I drop everyone off, so it's easier for me if you exit the call yourself. If you have questions, you can toss them out there. Otherwise, I will start to end the call. Thanks for your time, everyone. I hope you found this helpful. The goal of this session was to make working at home easier for you, but guess what? All those tips, they still work when you go back to school in person. Working more efficiently gives you the gift of time. So I hope you find these tips helpful.
Ashley?
Have a great day. Yes, she's not in here, but I am.